Once Upon a Star-Spangled Dream. First, the Irish set sail. And later, the Germans, also riding a wave of hope to America. And many ended up here, on the north side of Syracuse, New York. They came with their funny language, strange customs, and peculiar religious beliefs. Later in the 19th century came the Italians, and many ended up here on the north side of Syracuse, New York. Funny, strange, peculiar. Out here, on the other side of town, where Salina and State Streets divide, the world was coming together, and they've never stopped arriving.
And if you walk down Butternut Street, people from Ghana, Myanmar, Vietnam, Iraq, these were primarily Italian. So now you have new Americans throughout all parts of the world.
Wherever their port of departure, the North Side has always been a home to generations of many nations, with many stories to tell.
You can't talk about today if you don't talk about yesterday. So to me, the people who was here yesterday, they really did great job for the people today.
Syracuse's Little Italy district claimed its official designation in 2003, but it's been an Italian enclave since the early 1880s.
Back in the day, North Salina Street, State Street, the north side, the business district, they were all small businesses.
North Salina Street is a National Historic District for a good reason. You see, in this locale, history hides in corners.
A lot of these buildings were built Victorian era, and you know, you look at the buildings, you think to yourself that they were the first buildings that were there, but there were a lot of small wooden buildings along this strip that had later been bought up, torn down, and then these newer buildings, they were 1890s, 1900, 1910, 20. That's when most of these buildings were built.
Amidst the beautiful architecture, things are a little rough around the edges here. And at times, there's a feeling of being a stranger in a strange land. However, for those who grew up in the neighborhood, the memory is a place you always belong.
The memories of growing up in an Italian household with the closeness that we had was just something that I will always remember. Every Sunday, every single one of us, my uncles, my aunts, all my cousins went to my nana's for dinner every single Sunday.
Families, Italian families, whose vision and industry created a legacy of accomplishment in the New World. Who'd have thought that when John DeLoro opened his bakery at Division and Lodi in 1908, that his family would still be running the business today?
He started the bakery as Venuzia Bakery. He had employed Italian people that had moved to this area, in this neighborhood. There were plenty of bakers that came from Italy. irony is that he never baked a loaf of bread in his life, but he knew what was good, and he made sure that it was good, that the guys that were working did a good job.
John's children, Frank, Nick, Paul, and Rita, operated the business for many years.
And in 1955, they changed the name to Deloro's Bakery. So originally, this door here to my right was the entrance door.
Then in 1973, Frank's son-in-law, Paul Waverchak, came aboard.
We do Italian bread made the old-fashioned way. And so for us, selling shorts or shoes or ice cream or peanuts, we don't do that. We do Italian bread and rolls, and we do some pizza as well. But it's all always stayed true to what we do. When I started here, there were probably about 5 bakeries within a 4-block area.
The north side was dotted with little grocery stores.
And they had the little book sometime, you come in and they'd write down you owed them 15 cents, and then at the end of the week when you got paid, you'd go in and pay your bill.
I mean, there was us, Deloro's Bakery. Next door to us was Roma Bakery.
I always have fond memories. There was a place called Ponticello's.
Masterpole Bakery.
And it was on the corner of Division and Townsend.
Donzi's Meat Market.
And right outside during the summer, there would be the wooden barrels, and they'd have the pasta.
And there was Basil's Meat Market.
And another barrel filled with olives.
There were 2 stores on Catherine Street.
And all you could smell was the cheeses.
Garofalo's store.
And the prosciutto and salami.
So it was truly a neighborhood situation in which there wasn't a big box store that you got prepackaged products. And that was a big difference between then and now.
Deloro's Bakery and Pizza is just around the corner from Our Lady of Pompeii Church, providing a front row seat to history and Sunday mornings.
The neighborhood then was truly more of an ethnic Italian neighborhood.
Quando viene l'estate, guardale come vanno. Oh.
You could see all the older Italian women walking down the street to go to church.
Non volevo dirtelo, ma bisogna che te lo dica.
You know, a lot of them had black dresses on, they had the rosaries, it was very ethnic.
Vuole assolutamente vederti. Non fa che dire 5 minuti. Vederla per 5 minuti.
It was very wonderful to be able to see how people enjoyed the neighborhood back then.
By the late 70s and early 80s, things began changing on the north side, with the older community aging out.
The people that owned the houses lived in the houses. As time went on, that's where I think the change began. The ownership of the homes were by people that lived out of the area, and so gradually it kind of disintegrated a little bit.
The city was starting to have its problems, and a lot of the younger people that were getting married. Liverpool became more of a draw for Italian people from this area, and they started building houses and buying houses in the Liverpool area.
Filling the void were the new Americans. Viewed by some with the old suspicions and misconceptions.
My dad would say, the sign on the door of the store was Irish need not apply. So the stories, for me are really, really the same.
A lot of different nations went through Little Italy, so I wanted to try my own best to see what me too, if I can fit or not.
For over 20 years, former librarian Jusu Harrison has owned his North Salina Street sportswear store.
The reason why I left Liberia It was a civil war, and I left because the war was going very, very bad. Everybody knew about it since 1989, and it was a rebel. The rebel leader named Charles Taylor and really destroyed the whole country. And it was a lot of Liberians. We have to displace all over the world, everywhere. And America was the only place where I know I can come and have a better life and have my wish go through, have a great family. I met my wife here, and I have a wonderful 5 children, 4 boys and 1 princess. Yes, yes.
So in our church today, there are people who are Roman Catholic. They bless themselves. They could be from Thailand, Burundi,
Cây củi sắp sửa đốt trôi đầy lòng.
Somalia. After the war, we have a very large Vietnamese community. They have a Vietnamese Catholic Mass on Sunday mornings.
In 1985, Anthony Phan emigrated from Vietnam to Syracuse.
A Catholic charity asked me, where do I want to go in the U.S.? And I said, anywhere, as long as freedom. Yeah. So that's why I ended up here in New York. And I thought New York is like high-rise, like Manhattan, but I didn't realize New York is Syracuse, Central New York, but I love it here.
Anthony has had a long career as an architect and a new vocation in real estate. American democracy means a great deal to Anthony and his fellow parishioners.
At least I can express my feeling in religion, in politics, in whatever I think, as long as I don't hurt people. I think that's very, very important. The American dream is the American dream. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. So I think we are very similar to Italian immigrants, refugees, German. We come here, start our basic life in Northside, and when our life got better economically, we reaching out to a better neighborhood for our kid education.
Again. Yes. The. Yeah. Has. Yar.
Education is what draws new immigrants to the Northside Learning Center.
We're an organization that helps recently arrived refugees and immigrants, find their way in their new home in Syracuse, primarily through English education, English language instruction for adults.
Y.
Y-O.
Yeah.
Y-A.
And have a family model that has us helping their children.
This is my right hand. My right hand. Okay? We have 3 words in right, but I have now here 2. Okay. I like to write in my diary.
Probably 30 to 40 languages spoken in here at any given time.
We have right, look here.
Right now, a lot of folks from East African countries, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea.
I want from you to use this word in your sentence.
Congo, Sudan.
Hey.
My house, there is no yard.
Really many, many places.
D.
I would ask people, why are you learning English? Well, I got to get work. I got to take care of my family. I want to handle my business. And, I want to have opportunity.
The promise of opportunity is what drew Somali native Hussein Yarrow to the Northside Learning Center.
My whole family came to the Northside Learning Center to get a better education, and also my brothers are now finished college because of the help of the Northside Learning Center.
Hussein was a student a volunteer, and today he's the operations manager at the center.
It's a good place for the Northside Learning community too. So it's a good place for newcomers, for anybody who wants to head in life, so they can come here and learn too.
Adjacent to Park Street Learning Center is Holy Trinity Church, established as Syracuse's third German parish in 1891.
Actually, the house in the middle of the parking lot was the original church, built in the 1800s. The Germans outgrew it very quickly and built this beautiful, proper church.
Later in the 20th century, it became predominantly an Italian house of worship. And then in 2010, the Catholic diocese closed the doors, merging Holy Trinity with St. John the Baptist. But that was then, and this is now.
We're standing in the Mosque of Jesus, Son of Mary, in Arabic, Masjid Isa ibn Maryam.
The name chosen is a tribute to the history of the church.
You know, over the years, we've seen declining populations among some and a lot of folks leaving the city of Syracuse for the suburbs, and it left, among all different faiths, lots of empty but gorgeous buildings. In 2014, Northside Learning Center purchased the entire property, and work began pretty quickly during 2014 to transform the building into a mosque.
The renovation of the massive Gothic German hall was extensive. All religious references painted over. Wood from the pews repurposed for flooring, and crosses removed from the spires.
There was, you know, a very strong reaction of the families who had worshiped here, had been baptized here, and you know, all of their sacraments, and married here and buried from here.
However, the original stained glass windows remain, although now covered because their religious symbolism is forbidden during prayer. Their artistry and historical significance are preserved.
It was a really intentional decision on formers of this mosque not to remove them. Well, these were made in Buffalo as the church was being constructed. There's German names on those benefactors who raised the money to purchase those gorgeous windows.
In 1944, 9-year-old Carol Decker attended the Holy Trinity wedding of her Aunt Louise Mann to Dominic DeMano.
I just think the immigrants of this world are what make countries wonderful. They bring their culture with them, and we all learn something.
Many of the Christian churches are struggling for parishioners and members, and here the population just keeps growing.
All roads lead to the North Side, the intersection of now and then. Little Italy, Syracuse, New York, United States of America.
The people who was here yesterday, then they build for the people who came here today. So tomorrow can come if you don't have it today. People like us, we too, we can do great things for the people who tomorrow.
Once upon a dream, once upon a time in America.